4.2 areas of triangles. The essential question we're focusing on is how can you derive a formula from the area for the area of a triangle? And you're able to do this because if you think of an area of a parallelogram, the area of that is area equals base times height. A triangle is half of a parallelogram. So you would take the parallelogram's area and you would cut it in half, or you'd divide it by 2. So that's how we get this formula, because it is a triangle is a parallelogram cut in half. So a triangle is half of a parallelogram, which is why the area formula of a triangle is half the area of a parallelogram. So if we give this a try, we always want to write our formula so we remember what we're dealing with. It's half of base times height. When you're dealing with a triangle, it's important to remember that your base and your height are always going to be straight edges, straight lines. You are never going to have a base or a height on a diagonal, okay? So that's why over here you can see you've got your straight line here, and you have your height that cuts through the triangle, okay? You're not going to have your height over here because it's not a straight line. Same thing over here, okay? If we look at the shaded triangle here, we see that our base is at 12, but all other areas are diagonal, they're slanted, so our height is actually off to the side of the triangle and shown in that way. So that's okay, but sometimes examples give you more information than you need, and you will have a number over here that you just need to ignore. It is not your base or your height. So in this case, we're going to fill in our letters with the matching numbers. Okay, our base is an 11, our height is a 4. Okay, next up we are going to multiply the base and height together. And I know 11 times 4 is 44. And then we cut it in half. And the easiest way to do that is to divide this by 2. You can multiply 1 over 2 times 44 over 1. Okay, you can turn this into a fraction and you can multiply that way if you'd like, but it seems a little bit easier for most people just to use your long division skills and divide it by 2. So 2 goes into 4 2 times. 2 times 2 is 4. There's a 0. Bring down your 4. Process again. 2 goes into 4 2 times. 2 times 2 is 4 with no remainder. So our area is 22. The dimension is in feet. And because it's area, you always have the measurements squared. Okay, so you always have a little exponent of a 2 there. So over here, we've got a triangle again. We're finding the area. It's half base times height. We go through and we fill in the information we know. The base is 22. The height is 10. So I continue on. I'm going to multiply these together. I know my 0 trick, so if I cover this up, I just have to worry about 22 times 1, which is 22, and then add on my 0. Now I can go ahead and divide it by 2. I can cut it in half. 2 times what equals 2? Give me a 1. 2 times 1 is 2. When we subtract, we get a 0. Bring down your 2. Start the process again. 2 times what will get you 2 or close to 2? Again, it's a 1. 2 times 1 is 2. Bring down your next number, 0. 2 times what will get you 0 or close to 0? It's just a 0. It's 2 times 0 is 0. Okay, 0. There's nothing left to bring down, which means we're done. So our area is 110. The measurement is in meters, and because it's area, it's going to be squared. Okay, we're going to do one more over here. Area of a triangle is half base times height. We fill in the information that we know. Our base is a 12. Our height, we talked about this, how it's off to the side, and that's okay, is a 9. Now I'm going to go ahead and multiply my base and my height. My 12 times 9. Okay, 9 times 2 is 18. 9 times 1 is 9, plus 1 is 10. Okay, so I know that this multiplied is 108. I'm cutting that in half. So 2 times what will get me 10 or close to it? It's going to be a 5, because nothing will multiplied by 2 will get you a 1, and everything's going to be bigger than a 1. So we have to look at the 10. 2 times 5 is 10. When we subtract them, we get a 0. We're going to bring down the 8. 2 times what is 8? It's a 4. 2 times 4, spot on at 8. There's nothing left to bring down, so my area is 54. It's in meters, and because it's area, it's going to be squared.